Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's my Hutchinson and related publishers services editions. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so we've got quite a few to get through, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but it does make a change from doing lots of penguin stuff. So we'll have a little look and see how we get on. So this one, actually, I don't think there's much we can do on that. That's actually about as good as it's going to get. So this one here then, this one comes under the Foursquare Services Edition, but it is part of the Hutchinson group. In fact, we have two copies of this particular one, which is a novelty. Big 50p inside. Of course, it's going to be interesting to look at the history on these. See if we can see any interesting clues, like that one, for example. Ship's Library, RNAS Aventon. And what I've started doing with these, I've just actually looked up some of these naval ships to see what actually became of them. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so that was quite interesting. So it says RNAS Aventon is now a disused airfield in Ross and Cromarty in Scotland. So there you know. So but I don't know what the ship's library was because it was like an RAF base, but there you go. You just can't tell with these, can you? It's just amazing. Now this one, the very, very bottom of the spine there, it looks like it's just come away, but it's also 2-ply. So see, we get one little blob of glue in there. And then we'll do another little blob. Like so. And that'll stop that getting any worse, basically. So yeah, as we go along and do this, we will, anything interesting like that, we'll obviously look up. So this is a Skeffington's pocket library. Looks like it's got a little mark on the top there. Someone's ticked it like, I've read that one, sort of thing. Now we've got to repair the bottom of the spine in a moment. No real idea how scarce these are. We do have thankfully we do have an accurate list of them, of everything that was published, thanks to Al at the Paperback Revolution website. He's done some amazing work there researching this, and this was the last part of my collection that I bought from Eric Gadd that needed sort of going through, really. So obviously I had a few myself, which had never been through the cleaning process, and then I got that big load from Eric. So it was amazing, really, wasn't it? I don't think Al himself was short of any of these, wanting for them to go to the British Museum. As far as I know, that one looks like it's had a page out. Maybe, who can tell? These were printed on very, under difficult wartime conditions. That one's a double. I'm just going to put that to one side because obviously I can trade that with someone down the line. Yeah, so I think that other book, that last one there, was missing this first page here. But yeah, nothing to do on that one. That's absolutely fine as well. This one's cool. Look at the say of it. Raphael Sabatini's The Shame of Motley, and this is very, very worn, isn't it? A shame indeed. That's what I say. Yes, quite the worse for wear, I'm afraid, this one. It has absolutely been through the wars. But we're taking off this little sixpence on the top there. Very heavily creased on the front cover. Back cover, not a lot better. It is. If it wasn't such a rarity, I wouldn't be keeping it, but it is. Numerous pages. I mean, you could spend an hour going through and turning all the pages over. I haven't got an hour to spare. This video is an hour in total. So that's going to be there. I mean, it's a copy. It seems complete, so you never know. One may come along, another copy. So this is, oh, that's Hutchinson's Pocket Libraries. This is a separate series again. Now this one's clearly been soaked in water at some point. It says inside in pencil Torquay 4801. I am taking that off. But I mean, it seems to be well. It's one of the sort of the bigger ones, certainly. But yeah, very, very water damaged, that one, sadly. And of course, all of these ultimately need to be going into comic bags. So this is a hardback. Look, no news from Helen. Helen who? I don't know, but we're going to take the 15p out from inside. This one's obviously been rebound to give it a bit more life. Clearly Services Edition. It's been very, very nicely done. Much better than as usual with a rebind. It's beautiful. It's really nice. It's been done from brand new, and it's kept the book in tip-top shape. Absolutely tip-top shape. So no news from Helen. No news is good news. Here's the regular edition. Look, same book, but it's in paperback. This is how it was issued. A little bit of wear at the bottom of the spine there. Apart from that, that's about it. So let's see. Yes, okay, I just want to get a smidgen of glue into that little gap there, just where it's come away. I think if we squeeze that down now, we should be all right. A little bit the other side. That should finish it off quite nicely. Give that a sec. Yeah, it's not wanting to stick very well. There we are, I think that's got it. It's a bit of spine roll on it, so it's not ideal. Bomber Pilot. A little bit of writing at the back there. And a big 40p. Nothing to do with the original book. So I'm happy to get rid of that. That's lovely. My Country. Now this has got a very, very large stamp on it. It says property not for sale, WAD, Services Central Book Department. Aha, property of the Services Central Book Department. That's these guys. Got a bit of tape in the back there, which looks like it's probably there for good. And a bit in the front here. Let's just see this. Look. Is that going to come off? Well, in actual fact, it did come off quite easily. Let's see if this bit on the back is just as easy. Yeah, look, it is lifting. There we are. Better that is off the book than in it. And then let's get this 25p. Yeah, a little bit worn, but nothing that we can really go in and fix up, to be honest. Chronicles of Captain Blood again. Sabatini. Quite the worn copy, this one. But it's a Sabatini, and it's one of his most famous creations, old Captain Blood. They go down very popular still. Very pleased to have this one, Contraband. Dennis Wheatley, an author who I do enjoy. That looks like it's miscut, which it is, yeah. So we have to leave that folded. Very, very cheap paper. But that's a very nice, fresh copy of that one. That's a beauty, you could say. Sabatini again. Anthony Wilding, not a title by him that I know. The cover has got, just feels like it's got, yeah, a few little bits on. We've had this before on books. You can feel it with your fingernail. It's like it's been covered with stuff. It's like peppered with something historically, and they just come off with a bit of just a little bit of rubbing of your fingernail. Right. This is the same book. Oh, Anthony Wilding. Yeah, Sabatini again. This book must not be taken away from the manor. The manor. Which manor, I ask you? From the manor. Look at that. Big stamp. Well, I took it away from the manor. St. John and Red Cross Hospital Library. And someone was reading this in 1974. Maybe they were the ones who took it from the manor. But that much more recent annotation can come out. The wartime one, however, is obviously going to stay. But you look at it, and that's, that's like a wornish copy against the one that I've got, which was much brighter and whiter and nicer. And, I'm going to keep the nicer copy. This one here with the stamps and stuff on, it's not that interesting to me. If it was a bit more specific with regards where this book had been taken from, I'd be keeping it. But since it's not, that's what I've decided to do. I'm going to keep that one instead. Right, Son of Blackshirt. This one is got somewhere on it. Yeah, it's coming away from the spine, so we're going to need to re-glue this. Got a little 15p in there. Right, now which is the best angle to glue this one? I think down here. Then we might have to just do the tops and bottoms of the spine. I was a bit over generous there. And you've got to do this top edge as well. These books are so fragile. They really are. And that is about all we can do on that one, which is better than nothing at all. Right, next wedge. Right, this is a big thick one. The Street of Adventure, Philip Gibb. Yeah, over 250 pages, this one. Yeah, I mean, nothing really wrong with it, except it's grubby. Now, this top bit looks like it's been shaded in somehow. It's very, very grubby. Just the diamond here, you know? So I'm just seeing if I can lighten it a little bit with my rubber. Which I think we've probably successfully done there. That looks a bit better. Not sure what was going on there. Tiny little bit of glue required there. A little bit under there. Can't do a lot with this, unfortunately. Yeah, not the greatest of copies, but it is ultimately a copy, which is better than no copy. That's the way we're looking at it. Right, the Black Beret. It's a much nicer, bright one, isn't it? Old 30p inside. Okay. Another Dennis Wheatley, The Secret War. Public thriller #1, says the Sunday Times. So this one's got the familiar Royal Naval War Libraries. We've seen that stamp a few times, haven't we? Whilst going through these services editions. Once again, they do seem to go at the bottom and tops of the spines, don't they, these books? It seems to be where they get worn. There we are. Unfortunately, the top is already missing on this one, but there's a little bit left. There we are. I think that's about as nice as we're going to get that one. Right. Once Off Guard, J.H. Wallace. I see this is a Jackdaw Library one. Slide those round. We'll start a new pile here. Frank Slaughter, Spencer Braid, MD. jackdaw again. Yeah, I think that's all right. A little 20p in the corner here. I think Eric must have started picking these up probably in the 60s. And I don't think he stopped till the day he died. I think he was buying or had people buying for him online. Right, this one's a bit rough. Spine blind. Yes, bit of spine to repair. This is a jackdaw again. Very, very rough. But it's all, there's nothing we can do with the covers. It's all spine work here. So let's see. So it's mainly, it's this down here. So that is in place. So it's not too bad, really. We're just going to try and line it up. So we'll put some glue along there, like so. Maybe it's a tiny bit more there. And we'll see if we can fold it over. Get that looking a little bit better. There goes the rubber. Now, it's not quite in, so I'm going to put another bit more there. There we are. I think that's got it all. And there's nothing we can do with the top bit. It's just split. So that'll be okay, because that's going to, as we've always said, the glue dries completely clear. So we don't have anything to worry about on that front. But it was a bit of a fiddly one. Right, let me rescue the rubber. Okay, Ethel Manning. Women also dream. Well, apparently they do. See, this one's just got a date and a place. This is Hay, 27th of September, 74. So that's probably where Eric, I'm imagining, picked this book up. It's got 2 shillings inside. Although in 74 they'd obviously moved to decimal, so who knows. Just getting a tiny bit of glue required just in the top there. There we are. Stop that getting any worse in court. Right. Now, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think this is the next one. So it's a bit of a change of style now. So we've got these ones which are, it says the Reader's Library, published in association with Hutchinson. SOS. So this is the Universal Book Club. Now, I'm less familiar with these, I have to say. These aren't services, but they're Hutchinson's Universal Book Club, and we've got quite a few of these. So that's what we're looking at here now. I'm not sure, there may be some more of these in my regular Hutchinson's collection, but I can't remember. Nothing like that anyway. But that's quite nice. Here's another one here, Dangerous Waters. Little stain there. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice copy. So this is same series, but it's a yellow one. Black Shirt the Adventurer. Over 1 million Black Shirt novels have been sold, apparently. That's in beautiful condition, that one. Very, very nice for its age. Indeed. That's lovely. The Chinese Puzzle. This one again has got some sort of splattering, like someone's splattered it with something, not on purpose, it's just been in the vicinity, and it's got splattered with something which has left like a couple of little marks, or not marks, but like tiny, tiny like bits of grit or something on the cover. We've seen it before. Very, very unusual. It's an unusual phenomenon, but apart from that, it's a beautiful copy. Mr. X. Now, unfortunately, the weather's inclement today. We've got a bit of rain in the air, so we're not going to be able to go outside to do our brushing, which is not ideal, to be honest, because I think these are quite dusty books, in all honesty. But we'll see how bad it is. I think is probably the best way. We'll make a judgment call, see if it's going to actually intoxicate me. Now that's the same author, Mr. X, and now this is Frame Up. So same author, different book. Yes, I don't want to be risking my lungs filled with 80-year-old dust. That wouldn't be recommended, would it? I didn't quite take that price out. So as you watch this, I'm actually going to be putting this one out not long after I got back with a huge, and I mean huge, vintage Penguin collection, 4,000 books. So you will be seeing quite a bit of that in the coming months. The story of that big collection, which was found in a barn, is coming up. Look at that. Property of Wal R. Gad. Well, I'll be. I wonder if that was Eric Gad's dad. And this was one from his collection. I wonder. Although it says 40p inside, so I don't think so. But it's such an unusual name. You know? Anyway, but it is Dennis Wheatley. Very good. It's in really nice condition, to be honest. How many of these have survived? Can't be that many. And he is, to this day, still quite collectible. And that is very, very nice indeed. Right, time for a short break. Okay, so the last stack, and we got more Raphael Sabatini, but that is, well, that's blooming lovely. That is a beauty. It says 1 in 6 net. That strikes me as this one may have been sold post-war, and it's just been bought off the stand and never been read. This one, an absolutely beautiful example. That's gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, that is It's as mint as it's going to get. Absolutely beautiful. There we are. Really nice, that one. So Margaret Morrison's Angles. What's all this about then? This is a novel with a difference. Now, is it a treatment, and it delves deep into life? Angles. Wow. What's your angle? Yeah. Nothing we can really do with that one. It is just a reasonable copy. And then yet another Sabatini. There's so many of them, wasn't there? Fortune's Fool. I didn't realise that he'd written so many, but it's the sort of name you don't forget in a hurry, isn't it? Raphael Sabatini. There we are. A little bit of a tear down the front cover there, but not that it's come away. We don't want to glue that, of course, you know. I just want to fold it back, but that'll be okay. Once it's in a bag, that'll keep it sort of in place, as it were. And as I said, I do intend bagging these. And look at this. Barbara Cartland. Fly me alright. I think I've only got one other Barbara Cartland book in my collection, which is a Collins, I think, from memory. Look at that. Barbara Cartland. Saga at 40. Right. Just a tiny little bit of glue required just in the base of the spine here. And the glue has decided to seize up on me. There we are. That should be lovely. Yeah, I mean, it's probably really scarce, you know? I mean, probably. Right, The Secret War, look at that. Dennis Wheatley, that's nice, isn't it? Very, very nice. I have seen a few of these on one of the Dennis Wheatley websites, and I think they have all been catalogued as far as I know, but I might just double check against what I've got here. But that's nice, that. Right, what's this? Greta Garbo. So this is something a bit different. This is Hutchinson's again, The Pocket Library of Film Stars, The Private Life of Greta Garbo. Number 1, 18 illustrations. And number 2 was The Romantic Life of Maurice Chevalier. Well, I'm less familiar with him, much more familiar with Greta Garbo. This is actually, it's dust wrapper flaps. Not in a dust wrapper, but dust wrapper flaps. Wow, this is quite nice, isn't it? I bet this is of interest to a Greta Garbo fan. Free German League of Culture in Great Britain. Catalogued. I wonder what that means. The book doesn't appear to be that well made, but I reckon that that's pretty scarce, you know. I really do. I think that's probably quite a rarity, that one. And certainly of interest to any Greta Garbo fans out there, of which I'm sure there's some. But it is a little on the worn side. I mean, no two ways around that. The only real bit that needs a bit of gluing is just in this top here. But yeah, how unusual. You can't imagine that many of those have really survived. But who knows? Who knows? But there we are. Yeah, shame it's got a few blotches on the cover, but it is what it is. Right, next is a Dennis Wheatley, but it's a lovely one, but sadly it's got no back cover, which is a shame, and it's very, very delicate. But it's got a 1 and 3 over sticker on. History of British Regiments of the British Army. So it's all complete except no back cover. And the front cover is holding on. Well, you wouldn't want to sneeze near it because it could send it into oblivion. So that has to just stay on like that and be sandwiched between a couple of books to keep it in nice order. Right, a new series now. So we'll start our third and final pile, which will give us about our hour-long video, I would imagine. So, Hutchinson Pocket Special, France Talks with Hitler. So these, I believe, are they numbered or not? I don't think they are, you know. We'll look at that. So we're going to need to reglue the spine. But these, I believe, are very much Hutchinson's answer to the Penguin specials. So they're like non-fiction titles, mainly war-related, of which Penguin, of course, were selling millions of at the time, you know. And Hutchinson's were very much looking at Penguin with envious eyes, but they didn't ever reach the same dizzy heights as Penguin. We're just sliding that one in there. That's going to be absolutely fine, I suggest. And the forecast, in actual fact, for tomorrow is quite nice. So what I might do is I'm going to give it overnight, and I'm not going to do the brush off right now. I'm going to do it in the morning and hope for better weather so I can actually do it outside, because these books are not great. So I don't want to risk anything. So this one's got 50p in that awkward inside cover slot, which really, really annoys me. Germany Beneath the Surface, author of Gestapo Trail. Sounds pretty amazing, isn't it? Stories of the underground movement. Cool. So is that underground in Germany, I'm guessing? Death to the Führer. A brilliant narrative reconstruction of various attempts made on the life of Adolf Hitler. Wow. Very cool indeed. Allied Leaders of Britain, a new series. These are the Royal Navy, Air Force, Army, and one on Churchill. I believe we got some of those coming up. Well, very, very foxed, but apart from that, it's a nice, tidy, robust copy. Atlantic Battle. A faithful and inspiring account of unforgettable experience. A wartime cruise of more than 2,000 miles in one of His Majesty's destroyers. A personal narrative of the Battle of the Atlantic by L. Marsden Gander. Which destroyer in question then were they on board? HMS Nemo. We'll look it up, shall we? HMS Nemo. What happened to her? Because I am genuinely curious, so let me just look that up. Okay, so HMS Nemo was not actually a ship. HMS Nemo was like a naval base during the war, and its nickname was, or it was designated HMS Nemo, but there wasn't actually a boat of that name. So there you go. Okay, Good Fare, a book of wartime recipes. Look at that, produced by the Daily Telegraph, published by Hutchinson again. This is another one which you've got to think there cannot be many copies that have survived. You know, wartime cookery books are scarce generally, and this is a beautiful, beautiful example. Look at that. Look at that Weetabix ad. Excellent. I love it. Really nice condition as well. Little 50p inside, which is soon got rid of. I mean, that is pretty magical, that, isn't it? Pretty magical indeed. What's this then? Leaders of Britain. We were just reading about that. So look, number 1 of a new Hutchinson series. So Leaders of Britain in the Royal Navy. I haven't catalogued these. I haven't checked to see if there's any that I'm missing. But if there is, certainly I'd like to finish them off. Yeah, that's okay. Here's another one. Leaders of Britain, the Royal Air Force. Wow, this one's in a dust wrapper. Look at that. Look at that. That is minters, that, isn't it? Wowee. So it looks as if these actually got published in dust wrappers, which is pretty special, isn't it? That is very, very nice indeed. That. It's beautiful. But then again, I suppose the Penguin specials were published in dust wrappers. Hutchinson, of course, are notorious for not actually dating their books, which really annoys the collector in me. I've got another one here. This is the Churchill one for Leaders of Britain, but no dust wrapper, just definitely worse condition than the last couple we've looked at. But it is Churchill, who I actually collect books on in his own right. But that is well worn. That's a shame, isn't it? Typical. So let's re-glue this spine here. I think that'll be enough. So I try and remember that I need a slightly better copy of this one, since the other ones are so nice. And this is Leaders of Britain Volume 4. So by the look of it, at the moment, I haven't got the Leaders of Britain Volume 3. So there is one that I can clearly see I am missing. Right, what's this? The Quislings, Hitler's Trojan Horses. This is a Hutchinson special. It doesn't give any other series identification. It's got that advert on the back, very similar to Penguin books of the period. Battle of Flanders. Okay. £50p. Lovely. Okay. Rationed recipes. Wow. Another recipe cut out of a newspaper. So once again, a wartime cookery book. And in pretty nice condition, actually. Italy and Suez. They've got a very distinctive look, these, haven't they? This one's quite foxed, sadly. Apart from that, a pretty robust copy. Just going down the spine here again. There we are. Lovely. Right. Turkey Today, Dr. Bernard Lewis. These really are quite something, aren't they? They're really interesting, these books. So unusual. I have had the odd one through my hands, but never so many at once. The Life of Winston Churchill, Pilot Press, Volume 21. This is just something completely different. Yeah, there's the other ones. Well, that's good. It's good that I've got the Churchill one. Weird format, more like a digest. No date inside. You could probably get an idea by the content, but I suspect, I'm going to put that over there, I suspect that's like an early, like 1940. This is more what we've been looking at. So this is back to this series again. Will America Fight? This is obviously before Pearl Harbor, because after that America was very fully in the war. But it was the question, look at that, £8. It was the question that was definitely on a lot of people's minds, was how to get America into the war so they could help the other allied nations, which they did. But they still had to wait until, although they were helping us a lot prior to Pearl Harbor, they couldn't fully commit publicly, I suppose, until Pearl Harbor happened. And then they had the perfect excuse then to ramp it up, which they very much did, of course. There we are. Right, just a few more left. This is a different series again. Germany, Hammer or Anvil. And this is also a special, but it's in a wrapper. So the wrapper is not perfect. There's a bit of a list in here. What does it say? Oh, just the normal Hutchinson Pocket Library. Okay. Yeah, very, very nice underneath. Look at the dust on it. It so needs a good brush. All of these need a brush. Look at that. Blimey. Wow. Now, I don't want to go in and pull all that old glue out because it'll make a hell of a mess. So I'm just going to leave it there and hope that this glue does the trick, really. But it's not, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. It's just the old glue being old, really. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay. Apart from that, underneath, what a cracker. beautiful bright copy because it's been protected by the wrapper, of course. So. But yeah, that's going to need some. Yeah, hopefully that'll see it set overnight anyway. Right, same sort of series, Poland's Destiny, also in a wrapper. Similar situation. Wrapper's not so nice. £15p here. Slide him back in. And then we've just got one more to do before we have to brush these all down. And that will be tomorrow, with a bit of luck. If it's still horrible weather, we'll have to do it in the office here. I think what we'll do, these last three, because the wrappers are so dodgy, I don't want to rub them down and rub the wrapper, so I'm going to give them a brush without the wrappers actually on them so I don't damage them. Oh, and look, we actually missed a little 20p there, so quality control. Is that 5p? Who can tell? There we are. Right, give that another squeeze. So I will just do these because they've got dust wrappers on. Really dusty. I'll blow the dust away. Blow it away. We can see it has lightened them a bit. There we are. I don't like doing that in the studio, particularly because I've got a studio full of books as well. But the books that are here are generally here waiting to be cleaned. The stuff that's been cleaned is all bagged up. So, right, let's pop them back into their wrappers. And the rest of this I'm going to brush in the morning, hopefully in good weather, so I can do it outside the studio as I've been doing recently. But if not, I'll put these to one side. If the weather's bad, I'm going to have to do it in here, but maybe have a little thought about, or a little think rather, about where to do it. Anyway, for now it's goodbye, but I'll be back to finish off in a bit. There we are. Lovely. Okay, so it's the next day, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day. So it gives me a chance to go out and give these very dusty books a brush. And they really are dusty. There's a slight breeze, which is lovely in actual fact, because it's blowing the horrible dust away. So they look better, they look a lot better. But they were not good, I'll tell you that. These were some dusty old books. But I did not want to be doing these in the studio. So the last step with these is obviously I need to get them bagged up. Now I actually don't have any spare paperback bags at the moment because I've been using them on the Rare Penguin books. However, I've ordered 2,000 from the States, which is going to be brilliant, but they're not going to arrive for another couple of weeks. They take ages, but at least I'll have loads, then I'll be able to go back and do all of these. I may even do a few bagging videos where we put some of the more recent collectible stroke rare stroke delicate books into bags. Obviously this is in the morning, so we are alas going to have the odd sound of cars and people in their gardens and what have you, but there we go. It's all good. Now, this Churchill one's actually a funny shape, so it's just do on its own, I think. It's more like a square digest, more like a commando pocket library book. Yeah, quite weird. That the life story of Churchill. Oh wow, dust coming off these. There we are. Some books are obviously worse than others. We've done about half of them now. I think we need to just do the top edge. Get that done the most. Give it the most attention. Too bad. Lovely. Now we had already done that little hardback, so just do those there. So once again, I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, do please give it that thumbs up, and do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage book cleaning action. And I shall look forward to seeing you again in 7 days' time with another cleaning video. Bye.